Right now, as I speak to you, there's a man in Kansas City who is imprisoned for a crime he did not commit. He has been exonerated based on DNA evidence, and the woman who helped him get his freedom, she got fired for doing so. Robert Nelson was awaiting trial on unrelated robbery charges almost 30 years ago when an anonymous tip came in saying that two brothers in jail at the time for robbery, two brothers with a different last name, had committed a string of rapes nearby. While police couldn't find those brothers, they did find Robert Nelson, who just happened to be awaiting trial on robbery charges with his brother. That single anonymous tip received by police, plus a single problematic witness ID, led to Robert Nelson being convicted for rape and sentenced to 70 years in prison for a crime he maintained he did not commit. In 2009, Nelson filed a motion seeking DNA testing that had not been available at the time of his trial. That motion was denied on a technicality. In 2011, he filed again and was once again denied by the same judge on a technicality. After two failed motions, Robert Nelson's sister, distraught and wondering why the motions were being denied, called up court clerk Sharon Snyder, 70-year-old great-grandmother and 34-year court employee, looking for answers. Snyder responded by going way above and beyond her duty. She went and found a successfully filed motion seeking DNA testing from a different case. She blacked out the names and gave it to Nelson's sister as a model. Nelson and his sister submitted a third motion based off of that document, and finally, that motion was granted. And lo and behold, the DNA evidence revealed that Robert Nelson is innocent of the brutal rape he was serving time for. He was released from prison this past June, and not only that, the DNA testing and the folks from the Innocence Project who worked on behalf of Nelson and in cooperation with prosecutors found the two men who actually committed the rape. But for her efforts in helping to free an innocent man from prison and find the real perpetrators of the brutal crime, Sharon Snyder was fired by Judge David Byrne, the judge who denied the original two motions and granted the third for, in his words, quote, a violation of Canon 7, the court rules which warns against the risk of offering an opinion of suggested course of action. I'm so happy to be joined now by Robert Nelson and Sharon Snyder for their first national television interview together. Robert, my first question to you is, how did it feel to spend those years in prison knowing you had been wrongly convicted, and how did it feel to get the news that you were being released?
Oh, it was exhausting. At times when I was in prison, I wanted to give up. Because it took, I had filed three DNA motions, and the judge, two DNA motions, and the judge denied them both. And during the course of the time, me being incarcerated, it's like I was giving up hope. And then me and my sister both gave up hope.
Sharon, if you knew when you helped out Robert's sister, if you knew what would happen, that you would be fired for what you did, if you could go back in time and had the choice again, would you do it again?
Oh, yes, I would do it again. I am so happy that he got exonerated on this charge and felt that that would happen, or he wouldn't have filed that motion to start out with. So I would have done it.
Are you angry at the fact that you have apparently been punished for doing something that has led to a wrong being righted, to justice being served?
I think that they severely punished me financially by suspending me without pay when other persons in the court system had embezzled a lot of money, and they were suspended but with pay. So I thought that was a severe punishment for me, and to make me retire long before I had planned my retirement in March of next year hurt me. And I think it was too severe.
Robert,
I think,
Robert, how do you feel about what Sharon did?
I feel to me she is truly my angel. I call her my angel, because without her help, I think I would still be in prison and probably would have died in there. Because of the motion I was filed, it's kept being denied by the judge.
Sharon, what does it say to you about the system that you worked 34 years inside of, that what happened to Robert could have happened? What do you take away as a lesson from this episode?
Well, the lesson is that people need to help parties that are going pro se. What I did was give him a public record that he was able to use, and I think that the law should be changed, that judges should be taken out of the mix on deciding these DNA motions, and they should automatically be granted, because it will either, show that they were guilty or they were innocent.
And Robert, what are your plans for your future now out in the world?
It's amazing. It's nice to be free. I'm planning on getting a job.